Hey guys, welcome back to the Unfiltered Gamer Kickstarter board game review. Today's game up on the tabletop is called Champion of the Wild. Champion of the Wild is by Big Imagination Games. It is for 3 to 6 players, takes about 30 minutes to play, and it's for ages maybe 10 and up. In the game Champion of the Wild, you're going to be choosing among different animals to compete in different competitions. And there are tons of different types of competitions. There are 6 different variants: power, endurance, technical speed, and even teamwork. When you select one of the specific animals that you have to choose from, then there's up to 3 players going to select 3 different types of competitions, and they're going to be different things. This one here says it's a ballroom dancing competition. Maybe you're going to get a shot put, discus, or javelin competition, or even a climbing Mount Everest competition. And in that case, you're going to then select your animal for all those specific different types of competitions and try and explain your way to why your animal would win those competitions. So for instance, if I were to pick a dolphin, I would have to explain why that dolphin is going to be able to climb Mount Everest better than any other animal currently selected by other players. And to be sure, note that any animals that are in the sea actually would have specific gear that can be used to either fly or climb or whatever have you, depending on the different types of competitions, as well as any other animals that are smaller that need to swim and whatnot. They would all have that specific type of gear for that specific competition. That being said, though, the game is a basic judging game where everybody's going to judge 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 6th players throughout all 3 different events, and you're going to then try and determine who is the best animal for all those competitions based on how everybody votes. You're going to have multiple rounds where different animals are going to be chosen throughout the rounds, and the player with the least amount of points is the winner. Alright, let me show you the game. So here we have the contents of the Champion of the Wild, and in the game you're going to have 6 players, and they're going to be giving you these different chits for each and every single event. The events are going to range from 1, 2, and 3, as well as 1st place all the way down to 5th. And as you can see from over here or over here, they're both double-sided. So you can see this, okay, this is the event 1, event 2, and then event 3, and these are the different rows, as well as the places that you're going to be giving different animals based on how well you think they're going to compete in the different competitions. You're also going to give each of these players an undecided/ready-to-vote card. Not only that, but you're also going to have this big deck of animals that has different artwork on the different animals, so you can choose between a whole bunch of them that you're going to be given. There's 7 cards in total you'll get, as well as 5 different categories of events: team, power, endurance, technical, and speed. And this is pretty much what you're going to be included along with the box of the game. So to begin, go ahead and first choose a first player. It really doesn't matter who. They recommend rock, paper, scissors, Spock, lizard. You get the idea. And then you're going to deal out 7 animals to every single player. There's a big deck of animals, and they have things that range from a gibbon, a white rhinoceros, a giant manta ray, a bottom-nosed dolphin, African elephant, so on and so forth. You get the idea. After everybody gets 7 animals, they're all going to then set those aside, and you're going to determine 3 different event selectors, and they're going to select 1 card from any of the 5 different events. You get to select 3 in total, so maybe 1 from team, 1 from endurance, and 1 from speed. However you guys want to do that, it's kind of arbitrary. And once you have all 3 events selected from the 5 different categories, then everybody is going to select an animal for all 3 specific events. So I get my 7 cards here, and then I look at all 3 events. One is ballroom dancing, another one is the Mount Everest, and then I have body part speed. And they tell you exactly how the competitions work. This one says animals have 1 minute to make any part of their body move as fast as possible. All animals must start from the ground. So then I would look at my hand and determine what animal would work best for A, climbing Mount Everest, B, ballroom dancing skills, as well as C, doing his movement speed as fast as possible. And I would then choose, okay, well, I have falcon, I have an eagle, I have cheetah, anaconda, barn owl. I think maybe cheetah. Cheetah would look good climbing Mount Everest as well as ballroom dancing, and they're pretty dang fast, as you know. So I would select this one and put the rest aside. Then everybody else would also select animals, and they would place them in front of themselves, and everybody's going to turn their voting thing to undecided. Then you're going to start with one of the categories, and you choose that arbitrary as well. We'll start with maybe the first one is ballroom dancing. After this one's selected, everybody is then going to explain why their animal is the best at whatever the specific category is. So why my cheetah would be very good at ballroom dancing compared to your hummingbird or your eagle. After that, everybody's going to take their first event chits, and there's 5 of them in total, 6 of them in total, and there's a 1st through 6th place. They're then going to go ahead and place these down, face down, where it says event 1, to every player. So 1 player is going to get 1st, 1 player is going to get 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And you're going to then decide based on what your thinking is and how they kind of have argued whether or not that animal is best. After that happens, the next round begins, and you start with the next category, which is Mount Everest, and the same thing goes on. You take event 2 and you place them all down for the animals you think, and then you go on to the last one and do once again. Then after that, everybody has put down event 1, 2, and 3 in all the different categories as far as the first, second, third, fourth, fifth place. And then you're going to say, okay, let's all flip over. And you're going to flip over all of the places and determine scoring. And the player who has the most first and second over everybody else is going to be the winner. And usually the best way to do that is to decide who has the lowest score if you add up all the points, because first place is best, third, fourth is not so good. And then after that, you're going to then do it again and again. So you'll have 3 full rounds of those competitions going on. And the player at the end of the game who has the best or the lowest score is going to be the winner. All right, let me show you at least one of those rounds and how it kind of works. All right, so I've gone ahead and set up for a 3-player game of the Champion of the Wild. You've got red, blue, and purple. Now these guys are represented face up so you guys can see them, but in general it's going to be face down with event 1, 2, and 3. Everybody's then going to get 7 animal cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then after everybody's had their animals, then you're going to arbitrarily choose who goes first, as well as who's going to select from the event decks. So one player is going to select any of these categories here, take 2 cards, look at them, select one, and put it down. The rest go on the bottom. And then the next player gets to go ahead and select one event. Then we'll do endurance, look at the top 3, choose one. We've got 3-kilometer steeplechase. And finally the last player, and he'll do technical. It's like 3. And we'll do high jump. Okay, so now we've got all 3 different events that are going to be taking place for the first round, and everybody's got their animals, and they're all then going to select them without anybody else knowing, and you're trying to select an animal that's going to be good at all 3 of these specific events. And all animals are able to do all the different things, provided they have they're going to begin the specific gear to do so. So how about a blue whale? It's going to be selected for that one. And Blue is going to look at his, and he's got a bunch of different stuff. He's got a white rhinoceros, manta ray, dolphin, elephant. Ooh, that's a good one. Specifically for the high jump and the tug-of-war. High jump is probably not very good for an elephant. What would we pick then instead? Oh, how about a gazelle? And finally, the last player. What has he got? How about a kangaroo? All right. So the players have selected their animals, and they have undecided right now. And they're going to start with event 1. And this is the first event over here, so we'll just go ahead and separate them. And when we're playing with 3 players, you're only going to need first and second because you don't vote for yourself. So we'll just go ahead and get rid of these guys here. They're not going to be needed. Then everybody is going to talk about why their animal can do whatever specific event it is. And all these animals are going to go do one of these events. So we'll do the Tug-of-War first. So this is the Tug-of-War, and these are 3 different animals for the Tug-of-War. All right, let's go ahead and see here. So Tug-of-War is obviously animals compete in a round robin in matchup in 3 heavier animals on the side of the rope and equivalent weight of lighter animals on the other side. Basically just tug-of-war with the ropes, and the animals are going to be pulling it, right? So explain why the blue whale would win over the gazelle and the kangaroo. Well, he's really strong and hard, and this guy's really fast, and he's actually as strong too if you talk about his legs and all that good stuff. So after that, you're then going to vote on the animals, and you have first and second, and you'll say, okay, maybe first place for the whale, even though I'm actually the kangaroo, so I can't vote for myself, and second for the gazelle. And this player is the gazelle, so he would also go for the whale, second for kangaroo. And finally, the whale can't vote for himself, so if he had to choose, he'd probably pick the kangaroo. And that would be the first event, and the tug-of-war would be done, so we would move this card to the side. And then we go for the next one, which would be the steeplechase. Animals race over a 3-kilometer steeplechase course on a standard outdoor athletics track. Ooh, that's really cool. So then we would go ahead and get rid of these. We don't need these. And we also don't need these. And we don't need these either. All right, so a steeplechase. Probably the gazelle. So we put that down there. And the blue whale over here. And this player is going to go ahead and select maybe the kangaroo first, and then the blue whale. And this player is going to go ahead and select let's go kangaroo and gazelle. Okay, so that is all done. Then the event goes away, and all these guys are still face down. And the last one is the high jump. We'll go ahead and select these away, move these out of here, so we don't need them. And the kangaroo can't vote for himself, although you would think kangaroo high jump, unfortunately can't vote for himself. So the next highest jump, well, you can say the blue whale might be able to jump out of the water really high, or maybe just the gazelle is a higher jumper in general. So he would have to determine who would be best. Maybe I'll go with the blue whale because that sounds like really fun. The blue whale jumping out of the water like crazy. The gazelle would then get their option, and I think they would go with the kangaroo because the kangaroo jumps really high. And finally, the whale might also go for the kangaroo. That would be the end of the first round. And after that, you would then go ahead and tally the scores. Now remember, I didn't do it in this example, but it's fairly simple. These say undecided. And when you have decided on who you want to vote for, you're just going to flip this over for ready to vote for each and every event. So after event 1, you feel like you know who's going to win, you put that over. And then once everybody's done that, that's when you're going to do the voting. So after the second round, you would rinse and repeat and do that again. It's kind of arbitrary, but it works fairly simple. You just flip it over to let people know that you don't need any more argumentation. You are good and know exactly what's going on and who you want to vote for. After that, you're going to flip over all of the events just like this. And you're going to then tally the scores. Lowest is best. Ooh, look at this guy. 5 first place and a second. Here's 1 first place in 5 seconds, 3 firsts, and 2 seconds. So we obviously know that the kangaroo has won this round with the lowest scoring. Then the next round would begin. You would simply go ahead and play it again. You would just start off again choosing new animals and so on and so forth. But that is the basic idea of how you play the Champion of the Wild. Now, as a caveat, in the rules it says if it's undecided and is ready to vote, how you flip them over for each and every round. When you have a majority of players, that is when the voting begins. However, when we played it, we just simply would wait till everybody was finished and they got to make their minds up. But in the rules, if you want to play correctly, you have to, just whoever has the majority, so in a 3-player game, if 2 players were ready to vote, then the voting would begin whether or not the last person was ready, and they would just have to make up their mind on the spot there. But as the basic idea with Champions of the Wild, all 5 different decks with tons of different stuff, right? You've got running, swimming, and jumping. You've got body part speed, 400-kilometer sprint, 110-meter hurdles, individual dodge. This is all for the speed stuff. And then you've got team stuff, which is like dodgeball and like ballroom dancing, animal stacking, so trying to stack your animals with a whale, that'd be kind of crazy. Volleyball, synchronized swimming, tons of really cool stuff though. And all the different cards are going to illustrate different things that your animals are going to try to do, and based on the animals you're going to try and choose is how you're going to do the judging. But that is the idea. Let me tell you what I think about it. So, the Champion of the Wild. This game is a lot of fun. It's a judging game like most of the other type of judging games you're used to. It's going to have that convincing other people why yours is the best, which is nicer than a lot of those other basic card games. I enjoy this one a little more than some of those because you're able to kind of flex your position and you have stats and reason as to why you're going to do so. And for the ones that are a little more nonsensical, like a hummingbird flying all the way to Mount Everest, that is going to be kind of, you can kind of bend the rules because your animal is going to have all the necessary equipment in order to do so. So that's kind of an interesting thing as well. I also like the fact that there's a learning environment around with this game. After you're done voting and making all these decision things, people start getting their cell phones out, talking about all the different animals, why they would be able to do certain things, why they wouldn't be able to do certain things, and you learn a lot based on all the different types of animals in these decks. Now, obviously, the art isn't all here yet, but what is here is really, really good. The cards are nice quality, tokens are nice quality, the box is excellent quality. This game actually, to me, looked like it was ready to be out and published, but the art's not fully done yet. But otherwise, it seems like it's ready to go. So, I mean, I would not be worried about the production quality whatsoever with this game. So, obviously, if you like judging games, this is probably going to be one for you, especially if you like more of a wholesome family-style game with a little bit of a learning aspect to it. Not vulgar or crude or anything like that, like some of the other games are, as well as it's almost Discovery Channel judging, right? But we had a lot of fun playing this game. We played this game live, so you can actually check out our live play on our Facebook page and determine for yourself if this is a game that would be good for you. We definitely did enjoy it, and it's a game that will definitely hit our tabletop more, especially because a lot of my friends really enjoy these judging type games, and they're becoming a lot more prevalent lately. We've done a lot of reviews for judging games, but this one's really, really fun, and I definitely enjoy it, and I think you should check it out.